Namaste. I am presenting my opinions, my understanding of Bhautikattva, mainly in relation to Manas. Any Dravya is said to be Bhautika if it is made up of Panchamahabhoota or Mahabhutas, and Manas in this context is the Antahkarana consisting of Manobuddhi and Ahankara as per Sankhya, or Manobuddhi, Ahankara and Chitta as per Vedanta. And Manas in some contexts is called by the name Sattva or Cheta, because in some other context Sattva or Cheta can give some other meanings also. Now let us see why this topic has been chosen. Sushruta, after explaining Srishti Utpatti and his opinions about it, mentions that in Ayurveda there is no need to do any chinta of any factors present above Panchamahabhutas in Srishti Utpatti Krama. But if we see the famous Srishti Utpatti Krama as per Sankhya, which all of us study in UG classes, Panchamahabhutas come at the last. So then how to understand or appreciate the knowledge of Indriyas along with Manas? For that, Sushruta tells that in Ayurveda, Indriyas are Bhautika, Panchabhautika, and also Indriyarthas are Bhautika. So then, Indriyas, what are the Indriyas here? So again, in some contexts, Indriyas are mentioned as five. In some contexts, Manas is also included under Indriyas. But whatever it may be, it is sure that Indriyas, the Pancha Jnanendriyas are Bhautika, as per mentioned by Sushruta. Okay, then let's see after one shloka again. Sushruta tells that the Purusha on which Chikitsa has to be done is made up of Panchamahabhuta and Shariri, that is Atma. So anything should be coming under Panchamahabhuta or Shariri. So if Indriyas come under Panchamahabhuta, then where we have to accompany Manas, whether it is in Panchamahabhuta or Atma. Let us see that further. In the Prakarana where Charaka mentions Shadhatuja Purusha, Chakrapani tells that Indriyas come under Panchamahabhuta, but Manas will be coming under Chetana, that is Atma. So before going to Manas, let us see why Indriyas are mentioned as Bhautika, where Indriyas are mentioned as Bhautika. In the very few shlokas later, Charaka tells that Indriyas are made up of Panchamahabhuta. And commenting upon this, Chakrapan tells that this is a Matabheda between Sankhya and Ayurveda, because in Sankhya, Indriyas are Ahankarika and Ayurveda mentions it as Bhautika. So it may be Matabheda, or it may be Aupacharika. That is, okay, we accept Indriyas are Ahankarika, but for Aupacharikata, we are telling it as Bhautika. But it doesn't suit well, because if it is a proper science, anything should not be taken just for Upachara. So, and even we can see a few differences of opinion between Sankhya and Ayurveda in some of the related contexts. Like while mentioning Prakriti and Vikriti, Raka tells that Ashta are Avyakta Buddhi Ahankara and Khadini, and Arthas come under Vikara. In order to make this shloka appropriate with that of Sankhya Darshana's Krama, Chakra point is that Khadini means here Tanmatras and Arthas means Panchamahabhutas. Okay, that can be accepted. But the question here is regarding Avyakta. If we see superficially, okay, Prakriti and Purusha have been mentioned under single name of Avyakta, but philosophically it causes a lot of difference. The whole philosophy changes from Dvaita to Advaita here. That is, as per Sankhya, the matter and consciousness are separate. But if you take Avyakta, everything, every matter is descending from consciousness, that Avyakta. So philosophy changes entirely. So it is a considerable Matabheda here. Then later on, while seeing the Srishti Utpatti Krama, Avyakta Buddhi is formed, Buddhi from Buddhi Ahankara is formed. After that, Khadini, the Panchamahabhutas, are formed in Krama, Yathakramam. And for this Yathakrama, Chakrapayan tells again that Yathakrama means here the Krama mentioned by Sankhya Darshan, that is Rajasika and Satvika giving rise to Ekadasha Indriyas, and Tamasika and Rajasika giving rise to Panchatanmatra and further Panchamahabhuta. But is this Krama mentioned by Charaka Samhita? In Jarakashari the fourth, it has been told that from Akshara Bhuta Atma, Akasha is formed first, and later on the remaining Mahabhutas. So this krama is just like that of Taittiriya Upanishad Vakya, Akashad Vayuhu Vayoragni Agnirapaka Adbhya Prithvi. So this is the Srishti Utpatti krama mentioned by Ayurveda. So everything, Indriyas, Manas, everything should be Bhautika. But it doesn't mean that it is not Ahankarika, because Ahankara will be coming above Mahabhutas. The immediately when Brahma recognizes that I am present, the Buddhi and Ahankara will come. So everything should be Ahankarika as well as Bhautika. So again, there is a doubt regarding the word Sattvopadana here. Chakrapani mentions Sattvopadana here as in relation to Manas, because in order to separate it from the Mahabhutas. But actually, if you see, if you take, okay, if we accept the Sankhya Krama and tell Sattva here is Manas, but Manas will be coming later on in Srishtipatti, and Sattva here should be relating to something related to Buddhi or Ahankara. And even Akasha Mahabhuta is mainly predominant of Sattva Guna. So Sattvopadana here can refer to Satvika Ahankara Pradhanyata, one thing. And another thing is, if we go with the Advaita Darshana view, that is Sattva, the Sattva of Brahma as Upadana Karana present in all the other uh, Mahabhuta or any Dravyas. All these Ayurvedic view will go in hand, in line with Advaita Vedanta. But I'm not going in detail with those concepts. So then, is there any direct reference which quotes that Manas is Bhautika? Yeah, that quotation is given by Shankaracharya. He tells that Manas is Bhautika, and he gives the Upanishadic verse that Sukshma Bhaga of Ahara forms Manas as the reference. But Ramanujacharya opposes his take, saying that here the Anna forming Manas refers to nourishment part only. It need not attribute Bhautikatva to Manas. But if we go on debating like this, we can never reach to a conclusion. So I think it's appropriate to tell, it's proper to tell that Manas is Ahankarika as well as Bhautika based upon uh, uh, the previously mentioned references. Now let us see, is there any apparent deviations from the Bhautikatva of Manas? One reference is the mentioning of Namakarana Dravyas, where Mana and Panchamahabhutas are mentioned separately. But it has been mentioned separately in order to lay down importance to Manas. It need not imply that Manas is separate from Panchamahabhuta. Just like mentioning Mahabharata as Panchama Veda doesn't make Vedas four, or giving so much importance to Rakta doesn't make doshas four, and Rakta anyway can be understood with the three doshas only. Similarly, mentioning Manas separately gives importance to Manas, but it doesn't imply that it is something entirely different from Panchamahabhutas. And in some of the cases, actually, we have to do some samanvayas to make the concepts clear. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, while mentioning Ashta Prakritis, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Panchamahabhutas have been mentioned. In Ayurveda, Avyakta Buddhi Ahankara was there. But Shankaracharya has done Samanvaya here. Samanvaya is if we are having about 90% of concepts in a similar fashion, and there are some of the apparent deviations are seen, there we have to apply some Shabda Vyayama to make it appropriate. So here he tells that Manas here is Ahankara, and Ahankara here is Avyakta Tattva. I'm not going in depth about that. So then another question is regarding Antakarana, because if you hear Srishti Utpatti, after Avyakta, Buddhi and Ahankara are there, and in Antakarana also Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara and Chitta are there. So if Buddhi and Ahankara are coming under Antakarana, but they are coming above Panchamahabhuta in Srishti Utpatti, so how Manas can be Panchabhutika? Here, the Buddhi and Ahankara mentioned in Srishti Utpatti are different from the Antahkarana Chatushtaya, because the Buddhi and Ahankara here is related to Brahma, where Brahma gets the knowledge that I am present, and Buddhi and Ahankara in the Antahkarana are the things which we use in the thinking process. So Again, this can be elaborated using the example of Manomaya Kosha and Vijnanamaya Kosha, where all the Antahkaranas will come under Manomaya Kosha, and this Buddhi will be coming under Vijnanamaya Kosha, but I am not going in deep about that. Now the question is, why different views from different darshanas are accepted in Ayurveda? For example, Sankhya Darshana doesn't accept the Bhautikattva of Indriyas, but we accept. It opposes Shadpadartha, but in Ayurveda it is mentioned. It opposes the Anuta of Karya Dravyas, but we accept Paramanuvada. But we oppose Vaisheshika in context of Karya Karanavada. We accept Satkaryavada of Sankhya, which is opposed by Vaisheshika. Isn't this controversial? Not at all. Because Ayurveda is a Sarva Parishada Shastra. Good words are accepted from any darshanas. Ano Bhadra Kritabo Yanti Vishwataka. One thing. The second thing is the rigidity that is this is Sankhya, this is Vedanta, this is Vaisheshika was developed in the recent times. In earlier times, there was no such distinct rigid boundaries. For example, in Ayurveda, there's a verse comes Sankhyehi Adyehi. The people of Adya Sankhya mention Shadhatu Purusha. Okay. But Shadhatu Purusha means Atma and Panchamahabhoota. This concept, which I have explained before only, looks similar to that of Vedanta Darshan. And Sankhya, to be specific, implies Samyak Jnana only. But we are, most of the times, we misinterpret Sankhya as Sankhya Darshana itself. It is not true. It may imply to Vedanta also. And there are many striking similarities with the Vedanta, specifically Advaita Vedanta and Ayurveda. For example, the mentioning of Ekadhatu Purusha, Chaitanya Dhatu alone as Purusha and all. But all these things will be discussed in some other context. Okay. Now let's come again to the subject proper. Manas is Bhautika. Then is it a matter? Because immediately when we hear about the Bhautika Vada, the thing comes to our mind is materialism. But Akasha is clearly not a matter. It's neither mere absence of anything. Akasha is a Sat Padartha and space is known as space. The space is known to have space because it has ether in that. So, Akash is neither a matter nor mere absence of anything. Then what is it? It should be some energy form because of which other elements are able to be present or able to unite or able to form. Okay. Then again, if you see about Vata dosha, it is avyakta. It has no materialistic nature. But even then, it is bhautika. Then if you see Adivahika Purusha, the Atma which goes from one Sharira to another Sharira, it contains Panchamahabhuta. But it is not a materialistic in nature. So, Bhautikavada need not be materialism. And those people, those materialistic people who accept Bhautikavada doesn't agree Akasha as a Mahabhuta. So, if you remove Akasha, the entire concept of energy is removed from Bhautika, Panchabhutikata. So here in Astika Darshanas, Bhautikavada need not imply materialism. So Manas is Ahankarika, Manas is Bhautika, but it need not imply that Manas is materialistic in nature. Now again one more doubt arises. Manas is mentioned as Anu. That is, it is very minute. But however minute Manas may be, it should be having some mass because for example if you see the virus or proton electron and all they are very minute very even then they are matter, they have some mass, how much less it may be, they have some mass and they occupy some space. So then if manas is anu like paramanu, it should be a matter. But Shankaracharya tells that anutva here doesn't imply the paramanu tulyatva of manas. It just says that manas is something which we can't perceive. It has no rupa and sparsha. That's why it's told as minute, anu. It doesn't imply the paramanutva of manas. But in Ayurveda, we accept Paramanuvada also. Every avayava of Sharira has Paramanu Veda. So then is mind by Paramanu? Is mind very minute? and but it's the matter. But um, and even in the modern science we tell that thinking process occurs in the form of waves, and matter can behave as a particle or as a wave depending upon the condition. And even it is told that mass and energy are interconvertible. So theoretically, even if manas is a matter, it doesn't matter, because matter and energy are interconvertible. And if we take manas as a matter also, in some context we can take it as energy also, in some context we can take it as matter also. But whether it is practically and theoretically feasible, let us see that. Before that, let's see why I have taken the concept of energy, the concept of energy in Ayurveda. Take the example of ojas. Ojas is a shariraja bhava which has gunas like guru, shita, snigdha and all. And for any shariraja bhavas, it has been mentioned that if the range goes above or below a certain limit, it causes vikriti. Similarly, for ojas also, if guru guna increases above a limit or decreases, it should be causing vikriti. But for ojas, it has been mentioned that vriddhi of ojas will only cause tushti, pushti and balodaya of sharira. How can we appreciate this? We can't understand it unless we bring the concept of energy and force here. For example, if you are swinging a ball and the speed is very less, it will not swing in the proper path. But if you increase the speed, it will revolve in the proper path. And no matter how much you increase the speed, it will not leave the path unless you have lost control of it. For the same reason, the energy manipulations are told as risky, because if you lose control over it, it may rebound to you. It may cause you seeing very much far away from the healthy status. But till it is under your control, no matter how much you increase energy, it will always be beneficial to your sharira, just like Ojo Vriddhi. But again, Ojas is said to have some mass and having some color and all. Then how can we appreciate Ojas as energy? So here, one more interesting concept of Ojas and Bala games comes. Bala and Ojas are same in Ayurveda, but even then in Paramarthika Rupa, they have difference. Like Ojas has Rupa, Rasa, Virya, etc. etc. And Bala is a Shakti Gamya Bhava, which has no Rasa, Virya and all. So one is mass, one is matter, one is energy, and both of them are same. That's interconvertible. So it is a very clear-cut example of mass and energy relation. Now let's appreciate, let's understand this vriddhi as being beneficial in one another way. Every concept depends upon the dimension in which we think about it. If we change the dimension, the understanding of concept changes entirely. For the same reason, even after explaining three types of gati, vriddhi, sthana and kshaya, Charaka mentions prakrita and vaikrita as two types of gati. Um, it would be very easy if you tell Virdhi and Kshaya as Vikrita and Sthana as Prakrita. But it's not sufficient. If you take the two Gati, the entire dimension of understanding changes. For example, if you take Earth, it doesn't matter whether you are above Earth, below Earth, or this side or that side. Wherever you are, Earth will pull you towards the center through its gravitational force. And the same way, in the Prakrita and Vaikrita Gati, it doesn't matter whether it is in the Vriddhi Avastha or Kshaya Avastha. The only thing that matters is whether it is in Prakrita, towards the center, or Vikrita, away from the center. And the Chikitsa here is just bringing it towards the center, no matter whether it is Vriddhi or Kshaya Avastha. How to understand it in the concept of Manas? For example, in the physiological state, Rajoguna is required for pravartana of activities. Imagine a person having, okay, for philosophically, Rajoguna is a Rajas is a dosha, but physiologically we require that. Imagine a person having Rajoguna Vritti, yes, so he will be having krodha, anger issues and all. And imagine a person having Rajoguna Kshaya, he may be very inactive, depressed and all. So, if you take Vriddhi and Kshaya as Gati, then here for Vriddhi, the medicines will be different, and Kshaya to make the person active, different medicines will be different. So in this case, I think we have to take manas as a materialistic in nature, and vriddhi and kshaya has different medicines. But if we change the dimension as prakrita and vaikrita, so um, rajoguna is in vikrita avastha and we have to bring it back to prakrita avastha, no matter it is increased or decreased, no matter he has krodha or depression, we prescribe him to do dhyana or pranayama. The same dhyana or same pranayama can in some cases, the same dhyana can help the person to activate himself from the depressed state, or same dhyana can help him to reduce his anger issues. So in this context, the gati is just prakrita and vaikrita. So till now we have seen that manas is ahankarika, okay, but it's also bhautika. And bhautikatva need not be materialism. But in case of manas, theoretically or practically, I personally didn't see any controversy even if we consider manas as a matter. But generally, with the background of Indian Bharatiya philosophies, darshanas, and all, it's very difficult to appreciate and assimilate the materialistic nature of manas. But no matter what, energy component will be there, and matter and energy are interconvertible. So, so then, what is the application of this in Chikitsa that we will be seeing in the next video? Before that, if you have any views, if you have any opinions or differences of opinions regarding any of the concept, just like I am not able to appreciate the materialistic nature of manas, but if you have some other different opinions, better opinions, you are welcome, and thank you.